Are we live?
Oh, we are live, honey.
Oh,
awesome.
We're live. What's going
Hey,
on?
everybody.
Facebook world. Whoop, whoop. What's up? What's
What
up?
is the deal?
Happy Tuesday. Oh my gosh. So it's Monica and Miyoshi coming up at you again this Tuesday afternoon for the Rise Up season of just our conversations that we're having, just to kind of extend our journeys with you guys, whoever's watching here, especially if you're a woman and you're one of our friends. We just want to invite you to, our journey and just how we're growing and, going through and growing through this season in 2020. So if you're hopping on live, drop in hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, type in hashtag replay, and then let us know where you're coming in from, and let us know a little bit more about you. If you're a mom, if you're a wife. Today's topic, before we talk about it, is going to be giving yourself grace and the importance of it, to give yourself grace daily, because I know it's easy to give others grace and extend others grace, but sometimes we're missing that with ourselves. So that's what we're going to be chatting about today. What's up, Miyoshi?
What is going on, Monica? I am so excited for today's topic.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh. It's going to be a really kind of heart-wrenching one. Sometimes we have to kind of get to the truth of the matter of why, we're feeling the way we do, and we can't get out of the rut we're in. And so this is going to be really good. So how have you been? What's in your neck of the world? And, share with us a little bit of what you want to share with it.
Yes. I mean, I totally agree with you. This is a topic that I feel like we don't really discuss amongst each other and friends. And to totally piggyback off of what you're saying already in that first sentence is we are so quick to give grace to other people except for ourselves. And when I did the post earlier during my work shift, I was like, girl, give yourself grace and level up. And I feel like that's important. I think that a lot of times guilt and shame can really penetrate our heart and our spirit. And when that happens, we're not able to continue on in our life journey the way that I believe God is intending us to do, because we're still caught up in the mistake, the back then. So today, let's talk about giving grace to ourselves. Because again, if our cup is not full, it's going to be hard for the cup to run over for the next person.
Oh, absolutely. You said it beautifully. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. And also, I wanted to mention that when I did the post yesterday, I added in the link of the Sierra song "Level Up," and if you've seen the video, the dance "Level Up."
Level up. Yeah.
And I know that song is like a year or two old, but for some reason, when you and I were talking about the next session that we're doing, that song kept playing in my mind. I consider myself to be a self-proclaimed lyrical analyst, in the sense of I am so in love with music and I'm so in love with lyrical content. I believe that music saved my life in a lot of different ways. Music can be very influential. And in this particular song, she talks about making old mistakes, but you know what? I'm not doing that no more. Feeling like, I'm going to do things that may piss some people off, but as long as God has my back, right now, that is my focus. So for me and what it looks like for me in my life, I'm going to level up.
That's powerful. That is so powerful. I think it's so important. I think the lyrics itself, like I was listening to it and reading it too, and I was just like, wow, this is really something that we can actually implement in our lives, especially as women. We carry all this baggage from childhood to the roles we play as a teenager, and then we come into adulthood with the next role, in our jobs and parents, and we go through all these, the ebbs and flows of life, and sometimes we have this difficulty accepting that we're not like our circumstances. We're not the past results of what we accumulated. And sometimes I picture a backpack that we're taking along in our life, and we're leaving all that baggage when we can easily let it go and give ourselves grace, right? So I love it. And to level up, in order to level up, we've got to, it's addition by subtraction. We have to let go of the things that we have to. Otherwise, it's just going to be carrying as a burden in our hearts. And no wonder we're still being, that same person from when we were a teenager, right? We're never giving ourselves enough grace to let go of those things and, flourish from the point where God wants us to. So
when I heard you just say that, the first thing that came to my mind was arrested development, in the sense of sometimes when a person goes through a traumatic experience, some form of trauma, it almost arrests that development to move forward past that particular age, that time of life. And yeah, we end up holding on to things that happen in our childhood, early adulthood life, even things as of today. But like you said, it doesn't define us. And that's the truth. Like, that's what the good word even tells us, that it's about accepting that grace. If it's something that we can prevent, in the sense of what that mistake was, or what that not good thing that we did, or that not good thing that we thought, listen, rebuke that, lay that on the altar, and then keep moving forward to the positive things that you are still called and created to do. Don't allow that to hinder you. And like you said, having that backpack, going back to music and Erykah Badu, Bag Lady, that is one of my songs. And, she talks about, you cannot go to the next destination. You cannot catch that bus. You cannot have that loving relationship, that great friendship, that great business opportunity, because your backpack is full of all of that heartbreak before.
Yep.
Don't be a bag lady.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. It's easy to say, but it's like, we're not to blame, because like, we're not taught this, right? In school, like we're only taught to do certain things. But I think life lessons is so important. And, that's why leaning into community and other people to see that maybe our mindset is not in a place of listening to ourselves any longer. Sometimes that quote is, don't believe everything you think, because whatever you're thinking might not be necessarily right anymore. It's just what we've adopted since childhood, but who's to say it's right for you, right? So it's important to lean into community and other people who have got what you want, not in materialistic things, but the things that you see in them as the character they have, right? And to not be afraid to reach out, right? Because it's probably one of the reasons why we're not giving ourselves grace, because we're so convoluted in the stories we're telling us, right? We're not enough. I suck. Like, I experienced this thing, so now therefore I'm a failure and I'm not cut out. I feel inadequate, right? I feel like a loser. I feel like a bad mom because someone told me that I suck as a mom, or I suck as a wife, and I suck as a friend, right? But do you really? So, it's about giving ourselves grace, acknowledging what we're going through and the emotions that we're seeing and feeling, right? And not attaching ourselves to those emotions, but really getting down on what is it that's been holding us back, like really looking inside, right? And flashing a flashlight into the things that we're feeling, and then acknowledging it and not resisting it, but just, embracing it, but then creating an affirmative for it, right? Afterwards.
Yeah. My face kind of frowned when you said that, because it's so true. It is so true. And depending on so many different factors, in the sense of how you were raised, what the family dynamic is, what you're constantly around, what your own personal goals are, sometimes that negative thought or level. Hey, Sabrina, thanks for tuning in.
Sabrina.
It does. We end up taking on the label that somebody else placed in us.
Right.
But I believe this is where the level up perspective comes from, because in the sense, once we become a certain age, once we become aware and acknowledge that this is not how I personally identify. I know this is your perspective of me. I know this is how you think about me. But at the end of the day, that's not how I think about me. So in my brain, my leveling up has to be, you know what? That's your perspective of me, and that's cool. I got to let it be what that is. And that's me giving myself grace. You know, I was not the most ladylike individual as a teenager. And
Right.
there was a lot of things around that that kind of contributed to some of my actions. And then, yes, as I became an adult, I felt very shameful of certain things. And then it got to the point where it's like, you know what? I haven't done any of those like crazy bad things in so many years. That's not even really my mentality or my personality. It was like my environment that
Right.
kind of influenced it. So, you know what? Lord, forgive me. I repent that. I'm receiving your grace and I'm just going to do better moving forward. That's the most practical leveling up a person can do is legit starting with your mindset and how you feel about yourself because we're going to all have a deficit,
Yep.
but we can do it. We can do it.
Right. I love what you said. I mean, just move forward. You know, there's the past for a reason, but it's only to be used as a reference point, not to dwell on it and not to, you know, live in it. But we could use the past just to, you know, make a better reversion of ourselves every single day, right?
Yeah.
There's a purpose for everything. And if you use that as a tool to help serve you instead, right? And give yourself every grace every single day because every day is a new day. You know, that's really what's going to help you flourish right into the purpose that God's given you. And I think that too many times, like especially as women, we extend grace to other people, right? If someone asks us for advice and, you know, we're talking about their hardships and what would we tell them, right? Would we talk to them? Would we talk to ourselves the way would we talk to ourselves the way we're talking to them? Or how are we talking to ourselves? Like, are we talking to ourselves the way we're talking to them? Right? Or are we just like talking
and
too
not
much?
everybody does that. You know,
Right.
a lot of times when we
Hey,
are
Jay. What's going on?
referencing ourselves, hey, thank you for tuning in. You know, we're hard on ourselves, right? We already have the world criticizing us from every little thing about us. But for us to then have that negative, doubting self talk, that really brings down our vibrations, that positive spirit. And the Bible even tells us that we should encourage ourselves. Like, yes, I know that I'm not going to be able to solve all of my own personal problems. And that's that human connection that wherever I'm lacking, you know, you have that strength and vice versa. But to a certain extent, I should be able to see myself still whole in God, even though I don't have it all together. But
Totally.
whatever holes are in me, He fills them. And that should naturally allow me to give my sunshine and my light to other people. So we've got to give it to ourselves every day, throughout the day.
Yeah.
Listen, I still, you know, I work from home. It's customer service. And, you know, I love and enjoy what I do in servicing people. But you don't always get the nice customers.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, they can kind of poke, but then there are times where in between calls, I'll just sit in silence for a moment and give myself grace. Like, you know what? I could have handled that situation better. I'm here to serve people. Let me take in that time and that breather, and that next call, that next person, be better, give better.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. It's all about realizing that we're doing the best that we can with what we know and what, you know, we know at the moment, right? As humans, like normal, like as a human being, our natural essence is to help someone and to love and to be kind, right? And I think filters of life, like we were talking about earlier, just got the best of us, right? And it's important, like every single day, to just do exactly that, right?
Yeah.
What you shared.
Yeah. You know, and I think as women, we're natural nurturers. We naturally want to give. You know, it's like in our DNA.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. but be okay with giving it to yourself first before
Yeah.
somebody else. You go on an
Right.
airplane, they tell you to put that oxygen mask on you before you give to the next person.
Yeah.
And, you know, off top, it seems like that's being selfish, but in the long run, the idea is that if you're safe, now you have the capacity to help
Yep.
save somebody else. And that's the
Exactly.
real deal.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, for years and years, like my backstory is I could not even look at myself in the mirror. Like, you know, in my 30s, even in my 20s, like I wasn't even aware of this until one of my mentors said, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror every single morning and do positive affirmations. And once I had that challenge, she held me accountable. I did it for my first day. The first week, I had so much trouble just looking myself in the eyes because I did not seem a beautiful person. I was almost embarrassed of myself. Like I was just like, gosh, how come I can't look myself in the eyes? But you know how they say like, oh my God, like those people are so pretty. It's the reason why a lot of people who you think are pretty are so deep down broken inside, right? I mean, they've just got broken habits of thinking. They're not broken, but just their thoughts and habits are broken. And that was me. Like I could not look myself in the eye for the first week and even try to do those affirmations because I didn't believe it for myself until I started getting connected, right? It was my heart condition had to change, but I had to do the activity. So I encourage you guys, if you're watching this and you're going through the same, you know, lack of belief in yourself and lack of, you know, just, I don't know, just a lack of even believing you can do things, right? Challenge yourself to look at yourself every single morning for at least like 2 minutes. Look yourself in the eyes, smile at yourself, because I couldn't even smile at myself. And until I started doing that, I started seeing someone who was completely whole. I mean, I couldn't see someone who was completely whole, right?
Yeah.
Until I started doing that. So that was so important to me. And also, I took an advice from a mentor too, that collect all these things in your house that you know, that are possessions that you see of value that you've accumulated, whether it's like your high school diploma or your college degree that you could collect and put it in a bag, and like awards that you've won, or, you know, you giving birth to your daughter, that's a huge accomplishment. You know, things that you could remind yourself like, when you're going through the tough times and having doubts about yourself, like what is in that bag again that I can see that I'm an accomplisher. And so I had to do those little things behind the scenes to even get to where I am today, because like, truth be told, like I was totally a broken person, you know?
Yeah.
So,
No, I completely relate. I completely relate. And one of the things that I'll do, because I just started doing the affirmations in the mirror maybe like a year ago, where I'll say a couple of nice things about myself. And, you know, because it's told that we believe what we hear. So if you say it out loud and you
yeah.
hear the words coming right back into your ears, now it's helping on a more subconscious level. But I just started doing that last year. But one of the things that I do personally is I will look through my old photos, whether it be on Instagram, social media, what's in my phone, and I will go as far back as I can. And I'll look at the things that I accomplished. I'll look at photos of, oh, this is where I was at my life at this time. This is what I was experiencing at that particular time. And damn, I got through it.
Right.
I got through it. These were hard times, but I got through it. And I will never forget a sermon that I was listening to on YouTube from TD Jakes. And it was called Save the Scraps. And it talked about how Jesus was on the boat going to the other side to heal the man full of demons. But when he was in the boat, that's when the storm came. But before the storm took place, where he was giving his sermon, that's when he did the miraculous of the fishes and the loaves of bread, and how he was able to multiply it. When that was done, he told his disciples to take the scraps in the buckets and take it with them on the boat. Once they're on the boat and the storm comes, they're tripping. Jesus, wake up! We're in a storm, and you're, you know, fast asleep. And he's like, why don't you trust me? I told you to bring the scraps of food on the boat because that was my, and I'm just paraphrasing, obviously. It's not word for word, but the idea of them taking the scraps with them was, if I was able to do this particular thing for you, this type of blessing, what would make you think that I won't be here for you on this next trial that you're going to go to, with this next situation that you're going to get? So it's important that we need to give ourselves daily grace, and it has to be daily, because we don't want to take in that thing, that situation, that comment, that rude person into the new day, because it does take away from that present moment of living in the moment and enjoying what's really in front of you. So that's another way of leveling up. Give yourself that grace.
Yeah. I mean, it's the least that we could do. I mean, we took how many years until we got to adults to, learn all the things that we do. And no wonder we have all this baggage. It takes a lot more of us intentionally, doing the things that we want so that we can unlearn the things that we don't want, that's not serving us. And so it's very, very important to be intentional about the things that you're choosing to do at the bare minimum every day, which is including, giving yourself grace.
Yes. And because I'm a music lover, I'm always going to suggest, finding that one song that is so helpful for you, that uplifts you, that makes you feel good. Like, if I'm mad, I can listen to a really mad type of a song. And you know what it's going to do? It's going to keep me in that mad mood.
Heck yeah.
It's going to help further the thought and the idea.
Totally.
I'm mad, so now this song is bumping. No, the idea is, hey, I recognize it, I acknowledge it, I need something to counteract that. I really need something that's opposite. And get that one song that's uplifting, listen to it, even if it's only once, or even if it's a snippet, or if you can't listen to it, sing a little bit to yourself, and you will be able to see and feel, I should say, whatever you're feeling start to leave.
Totally.
The biggest thing is the guilt and the shame of whatever you were thinking and feeling before.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my, what else? That's so good, because
I know.
your level of
man, we can talk about this all day, but this is what we wanted to talk to you guys about. Like, these are conversations that me and Monica were going to already have anyway.
Yeah.
Like, we legit talk either once a week or once every other week, and we're on the phone for about an hour going back and forth of things that we've learned, not just our trials and what we've gone through, but what I appreciate about Monica is that we also talk about what we learned. We talk about resolution.
Right.
That's that iron sharpening iron. That we're not just talking about the issue itself. What's the resolution? How did you get through that? Okay, here are my tips and pointers, and we kind of go back and forth. So that's another way that a person can level up. Go to a trusted individual that someone that won't judge you. Because yes, so people are going to judge you. People are not always the best in regards to their intentions, but we all have our own tribe, and we can get that level of encouragement if we need that boost. But for the most part, mentally, we do need to get at a place where we're encouraging ourselves, and then having our tribe people assist us through that encouragement that we at least started.
Totally. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love it. And with that said, I mean, if you are watching and you're friends with me, I mean, reach out to me. If you're friends with Miyoshi on Facebook, reach out to her. I think it just starts with one, bit of action. So definitely we're here for you. I mean, like you said, that it's important. People say, who cares what people think? Sometimes it is important what people think, but what the right people think, right? Because the people who can help you to rise above, your mess, and we're all in a mess, right, of our own, right? We're either entering a mess, we're part of a mess right now, we're coming out of one. So, it's important to stay humble through every situation that you're in, but, the right people that you're reaching out to can literally be that boat or that raft that God is probably throwing at you. Right. And so
that was great. I like that. It's true.
Yeah.
True. And ditto to what you just said. I didn't even think to even bring that up, but yeah, inbox me, DM me, comment me, at me, as what the young people will say,
Yes,
at me.
get at me.
You better get at me. Like, yeah, I'm totally open for that. And I didn't realize that, I just started a website a couple of months ago. It's totally in its beginning phases. But one of the services that I did want to offer starting in the summertime is talking about the personal management of life. And that can be whatever the idea and the topic is. I'm still trying to hone in on that in particular, but I'm always down to listen. And listen, I'm okay with giving unsolicited advice too, if you want me to, because I'm just all for that. I want to be able to serve. I really do believe that God has called me on this earth to, most importantly, assist the young people. But I can see where, with different people, even my age, I would love to just have a convo. If you ever wanted to chat about anything, you can hit me up on Instagram. That's the number one, Miyoshi. Facebook, I go under Miyoshi Bloom, because you got to bloom where you're planted, honey, no matter where you are. Hello. So, and you can check me out on my website. I'll be able to put the link in the comment section below. I've got a few t-shirts for sale if you wanted to check that out. But yeah, other than that, get at me. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, same here. I mean, I'm just a click away from Messenger. So definitely drop in my inbox if you just want to have a conversation or just connect. If you're not, finding that you've been isolating because of the season of, the coronavirus and just being home. If you just want to chat, I'd love to hear what you've been up to as well. I'm here. Like it's definitely been a journey for me, especially as an introvert, right? I felt like, my past story was just like, I wasn't cut out to impact people because I'm just this person in my shell, the stories I've been telling myself. But now my whole purpose right now is to really, help other fellow introverts, even if you're not an introvert, right? I just get jealous with your gift of gab extroverts out there. But yeah, so, I mean, message me if you guys just want to have a conversation or chat. I'd love to just say hi to you. And just see what you've been up to. And if you'd love to, join the challenge and giving yourself grace as well, alongside Miyoshi and I.
Yes.
So.
Yes, girl, give yourself that grace.
Yep.
Or man, woman, child, anybody, everybody, no one's excluded. Give yourself that grace. And just know that when you're doing that, you are leveling up, because once you do that, you will not be the same individual as you were that day before, because no longer will that guilt or that shame continue on moving forward. And again, your light will shine. And once you shine your light, you give other people that freedom to shine theirs as well. So level up.
Level up. Awesome.
Yay.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, well, thank you so much. Again, if you guys are watching the replay, I'd love to hear your takeaways on the comment section. And if you guys have found value to this, and that, the people, their friends and families that might find value to this, feel free to share it out. Otherwise, we're gonna wrap this up and, share one of our favorite quotes to, end this until our next episode in the next couple of weeks. So.
Yeah. My one sentence motivation piece of unsolicited advice is do the best next step. I know you guys have heard me say that over and over again, but hey, it can be that simple and that practical to truly implement. Whatever you are at this particular moment, do the best next step.
I love that. Such wisdom in that. One
That's
little.
Oprah's. I didn't make that up, so I don't want to explain that. That's Oprah's, but I use it because there's such that simplicity to it. There is still such a level of heaviness of truly what that means. Do the next best step, baby.
Yeah, love it. Oh my gosh. And what I will say is that you are enough. That's my phrase, because I know I practice it every day. So you are enough, no matter what life, curveballs or whatever the world tells you. You're always enough, because in the eyes of God, He created you for a reason, with a purpose, for a purpose, and on purpose. And so just know that, that's the only thing that matters, is that regardless of anything, you are always enough.
Love it. Bye, you guys. We're going to see you guys soon.
Yes, we'll see you. Hope you guys enjoyed the session.
Bye.
God bless. All right, bye.